Hello, it's been a while since I've sort of sat down and did a mostly talking video, and I miss doing those, so I decided to do one of my favourite categories of videos, which is a monthly favourites. In this case, it's a spring into summer favourites. I love these sort of videos because they always feel like an adult version of a show and tell, and back when I was younger I was too anxious to fully enjoy show and tells, but now that I'm older and somewhat less anxious, I feel like I can fully enjoy the show and tell genre. So that's what I'm doing today. I think we're going to go through scents, media and books, music, clothing, and just like general life experiences that I've been enjoying. So yeah, to keep me company, I have this lovely cup of tea, and it's the little version of the Twinings glow tea, but a lot cheaper. So I would recommend it. It tastes basically identical. So yes, please grab a nice beverage or whatever, and let's go through my spring into summer favourites. Okay, category 1 is scents, and I feel like there comes a time in every diva's life where you sort of outgrow or you get a bit sick of the perfume that you wear religiously, and unfortunately that time has come. To be fair though, I didn't really have a signature scent leading up to this perfume that I'm about to show you. I was kind of like a perfume grifter, one of them, in that I wasn't very loyal to the scents. I would buy a bunch of sample kits and I'd like all of them, but none of them felt signature scent worthy until for my 19th birthday. Oh, I'm 19 now, I feel really old, but it's fine, I don't want to talk about it. But for my birthday, I received a sample of Melrose Place by Way. Actually, the second I smelt it, I scrambled over to eBay to buy the full-size bottle, and then I got very lucky because I found a bid for the full size for £26, and I think the original full size is £50, so I was very lucky, and I was also the only bidder. Still got like a bidder's high, gambler's high, like when the timer was going down, hands were shaking and everything, even though I was the only bidder, but for some reason I just assumed that there was someone else who was going to snatch it under my nose. But no, here she is, here's the full size. I love, oh, it's just, I think the notes are mainly rose / lychee, and then there's quite a lot of jasmine in it, and some white musk and also champagne. So basically the perfect spring scent, but I really love florals, so I will be wearing this for probably the next few years, which is very exciting because I'm about to enter a new period of my life anyway. I'm going to uni in September, which is terrifying, but what I found also cute is that there's like a champagne note in here, which is very fun and interesting. I've never seen that before. So it's cute because it's kind of like a celebration as I welcome this new era in, which is very tacky, but also cute to think about. So yes, I'm the proud owner of her, and she's beautiful and she smells amazing, and I'm just so very happy. In terms of room scents, oh, I left it upstairs and I can't be asked to bring it down, but it is the Habitat candle in Wild Mint and Peach. I was unaware that Habitat had such a strong lineup of scents. It's incredible. I spent like half an hour in Sainsbury's in the candle aisle just huffing and puffing every single Habitat candle that I could get my hands on. And they were all incredible, but I ended up choosing the Wild Mint and Peach one because it smelled like just such a fresh peach mojito. But yes, I was really unaware that Habitat had such a lovely range of scents. And they're all pretty cheap too, so you know, if you're in a Sainsbury's and you have extra time on your hands, I'd highly recommend you check out some of the Habitat candles because they smell really good. Okay, in terms of category 2, which is books and media, so my favourite category, I unfortunately have to eat my words with this one. I was wrong, okay? Kindles / e-readers. I used to be an avid e-reader hater. I just always preferred the feel of paperbacks because, you know, all your senses were fulfilled with paperbacks. You know, the smell of paper, the smell of fresh books and old books, incredible. Just like the sight of seeing them all lined up on my bookshelf, it just felt so satisfying, even if I didn't necessarily read all of them. What else? The touch. I love the feeling of like turning a page and the texture and seeing how much you had physically read. Hearing page being turned. What else is there? What? There's 5 senses I'm missing. What? Taste. Oh, okay, maybe your taste isn't fulfilled with paper. However, side note, I remember in year 8, me and my friend, we were obsessed with ripping like our maths paper books, like during our maths class, and we would marinate the paper strips with breast spray and we would roast them on the heater as snacks to eat, and they actually tasted really good. but that is a side story, and that was in the past, and I no longer indulge in eating paper because I think that is not good for you. And also it doesn't taste good. Yeah, essentially paperbacks fulfilled all 4 out of 5 senses for me, and I was like, an e-reader, a soulless e-reader tablet can never fulfill that for me. And then I realised how expensive paperbacks were, and so I shut up. So I now love my Kindle. And also I was being really dramatic too, because my Kindle, I don't know if this is the same with every single one, but the screen does feel like paper, and it is very cute and satisfying to hear. Little ASMR. Yeah, I take back what I'm saying, and I do love Kindles, but I would recommend that you jailbreak your Kindles. I think there are quite a few tutorials on YouTube. I have yet to do it because I'm lazy, but yeah, you do get quite a lot of adverts. You get bombarded, and there's just like a whole bunch of other benefits to jailbreaking your Kindle. I think it's not too hard to do. Yeah, the adverts are definitely a con because they can land you in very awkward situations, because I bring this to work because I'm very, very lucky that I get to read when it's like quiet. And then one day my Kindle like flashed open, and the advert just so happened to be a very, very popular romance book, and the cover was a shirtless man in a black and white filter, and my boss saw it, and I was like, oh, now he probably thinks I'm a freaky little freak that reads these sort of books during my work times. I was like, no, please, I promise I'm not a freak at work. I'm only a freak at kidding. So now he probably thinks I'm a weirdo, and I'm not close with my boss enough to be like, haha, that's an advert, or like, haha, like, to like joke it off or anything, because it's not even my book. I wasn't even reading that. I was reading Giovanni's Room, which is the current book that I'm reading right now. It's my favorite. It's so good. That's my book recommendation for this month. Yeah, I kind of spoiled my next recommendation, but current read is Giovanni's Room. I don't know why it took me so long to get into James Baldwin. My goodness, it kind of feels masochistic to read his books, because on the one hand his writing is it's just so beautiful, and I adore it so much, but it's also really depressing and painful because I realise that I will never be able to reach that level of fluency or skill. And so I'm like, oh wow, this writing is amazing, and also, oh, this writing is amazing, and I'm never going to be able to match that or to even get close to it. But yes, I'd highly recommend Giovanni's Room if you have yet to read it. I mean, it is a classic for a reason, but maybe make sure you read it when you are in a happy mindset, or if the weather's good. The weather's currently nice too, so I decided to ruin my mood by reading this very tragic book. So yes, be wary. In terms of movies and shows, okay, this one's kind of unrelated to the whole spring summer vibe that I've attempted to curate in these recommendations, but I just finished watching Yellow Jackets, and oh my goodness, I think it might be my favourite piece of media in the psychological thriller genre entirely, and that includes many video games. I know this might be a controversial opinion, but Lottie Matthews. I love Lottie Matthews. I think she's one of my favourite characters, as well as Natalie, of course. But Lottie, I'm pretty sure there's actually like a TikTok trend audio going around with her voice right now, so hopefully that will push people into getting more curious about Lottie and watching Yellow Jackets, because I need to talk about it. I've already got my manager on, and she's obsessed with it as I am, so I'm very grateful for that, but I need more people to discover Yellow Jackets. It is very gory, so if you are sensitive to that, maybe cover the screen or read the plot summary on Wikipedia. But yes, I love Yellow Jackets, and I'd highly recommend if you like that sort of thing too. But specifically for this lovely season, I would recommend Porco Rosso from Studio Ghibli. It is my favourite movie of all time, or one of my favourite movies. I discovered it around 2 years ago, and so it's a tradition now, a relatively new and young tradition, but I like to watch it every spring and summer because it sets the tone and mood so well. I think it's actually been gaining some attention too recently, which is very, very great. And so if it's on your TBR list, I hope this advocation, this propaganda for Porco Rosso will help bump it up your to-be-watched list. I'd highly recommend you watch it now, because spring/summer is like the perfect time to watch it. Another thing that I really, really love to do is match my snacks and drinks to the movie that I'm watching. So for example, for Porco Rosso, I'd highly recommend either an apple spritz or a ice cold Fanta. Both are completely valid and perfect. It's set in Italy, and the setting and the music is just genuinely so breathtaking. The ending is left as very ambiguous, but after my own research and just thinking about it in general, I definitely do think it is a happy ending, if that makes you feel better. It's about a former World War I pilot but he's been cursed to have a head of a pig. And now he's a bounty hunter. That's a very poor summary, but that's as much as I can tell without sort of giving it away. I think you should discover it for yourself. And it also has one of the coolest lines ever written. What does he say? It's like, oh, I'd rather be a pig than a fascist. Bars. Actual bars. Moving back to fiction, or in this case non-fiction, Substack. I am an avid Substack lover, but I recently stumbled across the Substack page Girl Insights. My goodness. It's essentially this 20-ish, mid-20s, early 20s, from LA, and she basically just posts her diary entries from her, life, I suppose. I adore authors with really dry and witty voices, and that, hunger for dry, witty voices was somewhat satiated by J.D. Salinger in The Catcher in the Rye, but Girl Insights feeds me perfectly. I mean, because the fact that this is actually non-fiction and this is actually someone's real life, and the fact that it's very recent is so much more satisfying to read. She's so funny. I'd highly recommend you read it. Personally, I didn't enjoy this book, but My Year of Rest and Relaxation, if you did enjoy that sort of dry tone, but with this girl, she's a lot more likable, I find. Still very real and relatable. I'd highly recommend you check her out. There is a paid subscription version of her writing where you can access all of her works, but she does have a few free ones that you can read, and all her essays you can read for free until the halfway point, which is what I did because I'm unfortunately very broke. But as soon as I get my money up, I think I will be definitely paying for the full subscription so I can read every single one of her works 100%. If somehow you can hear me, Girl Insides, telepathically, just know that I'm sending all my love and well wishes to you. Kind of leads me on to my next point, for my next monthly favourite, but I got inspired by her diary entries all being typed, because I used to physically write every single one of my diary entries. This is the diary I've had since I was, I think, 10 years old, so this is a sacred artifact essentially. I should be wearing museum gloves as I touch this. Last one was in 2014. My wrists aren't what they used to be, okay? Back in the day when I was doing my A-levels, I did 3 essay-based subjects. So you best believe my hands were flying across the paper. But now in my old age, I find that I'm just a very, very slow writer. 2 words or a sentence, they're gone. My wrists are shot. And so I find that typing my diary entries is a lot more easier to do. And I also find that it lets me translate my stream of consciousness and my thoughts so much more accurately, I feel because my typing speed is a lot quicker than my writing speed, and I feel even in that 4-5 second delay of thinking a thought and writing it down on paper, that 4 or 5 seconds is enough for me to sort of self-edit and sort of omit unnecessary details or things that I find too embarrassing, whereas I don't have that time whilst I type. I think my typing stamina is also a lot stronger than my writing stamina, and so I can include silly details like, oh, my hand hurts, or oh, my left eye is twitching right now. And although that sounds very stupid and menial, I think those extra tiny details help give my diary entries a lot more, I don't know, just it feels more accurate, and I think it's a lot more sweeter and funnier to read when I'm I don't know, in my 30s or 40s. I definitely still love writing by hand and writing some entries by hand, but for more random things or long rambles or just regular daily entries, I do think that typing has helped me become a lot more consistent in writing them, so a massive win. And also I kind of have to love handwriting because, hello, do you remember the stupid £15 fountain pen that I bought off of Vinted? She's gorgeous and I love her very, very much, but she must be used, so do not worry, I still handwrite a lot, but yes. The next category is food. Usually I just have a packet of crisps or a cereal bar if I'm feeling hungry, but no, I have been enlightened to just snack plates, savoury snack plates. Unfortunately, I am very, very rabid for sugar and I need 10 spoons of sugar in everything at all times, but I'm also a massive lover of everything savoury, and these savoury snack plates have been just a massive gift in my life. I love you savoury snack plates. Usually they consist of your classic cheese and crackers. I've been really, really obsessed with this one specific chili cheddar from Lidl. It's incredible. I usually have just a platter of some crackers, cheddar, spicy cheddar, or if I'm feeling extra fancy, cranberry and Wensleydale cheese. big fan of that. And then usually some pickles or gherkins and olives. Maybe a slice of ham or salami if I'm feeling crazy. I feel like a queen in my bed just eating with a massive buffet. It's incredible. I highly recommend if you feel like your snacks are just not that fulfilling, because I always feel like after a packet of crisps I'm like, oh, that's it. But no, packet of crisps with like dip of hummus and an olive, perfect. Also, I think when I'm no longer a coward, I'm going to try tinned anchovies or like the tinned fish and include that on my snack plates. But for now, I think I will remain afraid, because I don't know why, but tinned fish, they scare me. But yeah, this next thing is sort of a favourite to be, or a favourite in the future, if you will. But I have the world's loveliest neighbours, and they are insanely talented at gardening and curating this massive garden. They heard that I really love strawberries and that I wanted to plant my own, and so they gifted me with like 8 fresh little strawberry plants. How lovely. I'm so happy. I've planted them in my garden, and they are thriving, which is gorgeous and lovely to hear. And this also sounds kind of silly, but I didn't realise the strawberries grew from the flowers. And I love my strawberries, and if a slug eats them, I think I will... So, there's that. Anyway, the next category is clothing. This sounds... Okay, this category is kind of somewhat boring because I only have like one thing to show you, but it's this Brandy Melville linen blouse that I got from Vinted. And what's even more lovelier is that I got to satiate my bidders high addiction, because I beat 148 people in buying this. Let's go. Because 148 people had this saved, and yet I was the one that actually did something and bought it. Yeah. And I love it so very much. I realise as I grow older, I think my style is just very plain and boring, which is kind of depressing. But yeah, the clothes that I wear are very simple, but I do like to make things more fun, wearing more interesting, I suppose, jewelry. And so that's like my next kind of favourite for clothing is accessories, more specifically crystal accessories. I've been building it up with this jade pendant and this rose quartz bangle, which is so lovely, and this little cute rose quartz barrette. And then I have a aquamarine pendant that my sister gave me for my birthday, which is my latest addition, but I can't seem to find it anyway. I'll put a picture here, and she's so gorgeous and darling, and I love her very much. So yeah, I think that's my style for now, just very plain simple clothes but more fun jewelry. I plan to actually get way more piercings because I only have one right now, and I think that's very depressing, but I'm planning to get my seconds and then a conch on this ear and a helix on this one when I get the money though, so that might be in a while. Yeah, and sort of another clothing / accessory thing, it's not clothing at all, but it's this Essie nail polish in the shade Gilded Galaxy. She is stunning. She's just like the most beautiful pearlescent thing that you have ever seen in your life. I have like a whisper of it left on my nails. Okay, well, you know, I was gonna say that these nails sort of give off like mermaid fairy princess vibes, but these are giving more human peasant vibes. But regardless, this shade is perfect for spring and summer and all year round basically. I love it very much. Okay, next category is music. I've sort of been beefing with Spotify recently because I don't have Spotify Premium, and I feel like the frequency of adverts that I'm getting have shot up like crazy, and it's really making me angry, and my spite has grown so much to Spotify that I think even when I do have enough money to get Spotify Premium, I think I'll get Apple Music instead. I can't lie, I hate you, Spotify. But regardless, my current favourite songs that have been on repeat for spring is number 1, Spring into Summer by Lizzie McAlpine. Okay, titular reference, let's go. My second favourite song is Miss You by M-Flo. It's such a fun song, it's so incredible. I forgot how much I love J-pop, and I should really get back into it, especially old J-pop, because I am a massive fan of Automatic. That one was my favourite song in like year 9, I think, so I'm going back to my roots. But yeah, 3 is very recent. It's Stateside by Pink Pantheress. I love Pink Pantheress and every single one of her songs that she has ever released, and Stateside, I think, might actually be my favourite one from hers, which is crazy. So yes, those songs I feel like are just so perfect to blast in your room and have a little dance party, and they're very spring and summery. Well, to me they are anyway. I feel like they are. Also, yes, I've been cooking a lot more recently, and I found that listening to really old classic Disney songs and sort of 40s and 50s music with like a cheeky 16s/70s song like snuck in there. It's like the perfect ambience making playlist. Yeah, some of my personal favourites include Blue Moon by Billie Holiday, Uda by Hamid El Sheri, Boys Don't Cry by The Cure, of course a classic cooking song. But yeah, I also really love cooking evenings recently, where it's just me and my family that just gather in the kitchen and we all cook with like a cheeky glass of wine or maybe a few cocktails, or inviting my friends round and we all cook together. I think it's perfect, especially if you have a low social battery, because, you know, as it drains down and slowly gets a bit more empty, I feel like when you eat, you can just recharge with really good food, just eat quietly, and then your battery's gone up again in time for like a discussion over dessert and just like a cute little party. So I'd highly recommend. I keep saying highly recommend, I think that's my favourite thing to say. Anyway, those have been my spring/summer favourites. I know that none of these are particularly profound or niche, but they're my favourites and they're very dear to me, so that's all that matters. I'm wishing you all the very best for this season, and please give me your own lists and your own personal favourites down in the comments, because I love hearing other people's favourites and recommendations, whether that be music, food, clothing, or things that you like to do. It's getting cold now, so I'm wrapping up. Just anything that you've enjoyed this month, whether that be products or just experiences in general, because, you know, not every good thing in life has to come from buying things, duh. I say that as if that's not the most obvious thing ever, but you get what I mean. But yes, please let me know your own personal favourites, and I am now going to sit here for the next 10 billion hours and edit this massive video. I need to shut up. Anyway, love you, bye, thank you for watching. Mwah.